everybody, and welcome back to the Bells Ringers podcast. Colin Daly, Ben Wilson here today, and we have some Phillies craziness. Seems like we said it every time we get onto the pod, but I feel like this time especially there's a lot going on in Phillies baseball. We got some awards, we got some firings, we got some winning streaks, we have some losing streaks. Before we get into that, Ben, what do you got for us?
The Phils are playing well again, ladies and gentlemen. We're back. It's the time of the season. It's hitting season, and the Phillies are hitting. And if you want to see the Phillies smash the bell at Citizens Bank Park, get your tickets to SeatGeek, who is sponsoring today's podcast. SeatGeek is a ticket app that takes confusion out of buying tickets. And if I would have been at the game on Friday, Bryce Harper bobblehead night, by the way, I am looking at the layout that SeatGeek has here. The green you may see around this at the sections, I don't know if you can see that. There you go. That green shows if you are getting a good deal. So that green means good. It's yellow down here. That yellow right there means you are getting an all right deal. You could do better. And the red, which you can see here in row 7 of section B right there, that is a bad deal. You do not want to get that. Hey. And I have a special permission for you. If you use code Philly Sports Report, I repeat, Philly Sports Report, it will be up on the screen, you can save $20 on your first purchase. That's an incredible deal that you cannot miss up on. Click the link down in the description to get your tickets today with the code Philly Sports Report.
Yeah, and guys, I've been a big SeatGeek user even before we got the sponsorship. When I hide my email here, you can see that is July 31st, 2019. I used my first SeatGeek order well before I even wrote for PSR or even had the sponsorship. So we're not just saying this because we got sponsored from them. We're saying this because it is a good website, good deals. So make sure to check that out. And you know what else is a good deal, Ben? Joe Girardi getting sent back to wherever he lives.
Oh, yeah. Back to MLB Network.
Yeah. So
he can go. I remember in his press conference when he first got introduced, he put on the Phillies jersey and said, "This is much better attire than I'm used to." You can go back to that old attire, Joe.
Yeah,
you're out of Philly.
I mean, so as of last week, Joe Girardi was relieved of his duties as Phillies manager, aka fired. The bench coach Rob Thompson took over. Thompson has been in baseball for 38 years. He has been third base coach, minor league coaches, bench coach. He was the Phillies bench coach for 2 stints. He coached under, two managers. He coached under Gabe Kapler. He coached under former manager Joe Girardi. Girardi is unemployed. Kapler is with the Giants. And I will still say, not to get too off topic here, Kapler was not a good manager for the Phillies. He's a good manager. The Phillies team is not a team that Kapler would do well in this environment.
He's not a
very good environment.
He's not a Philadelphia guy. I don't think he can handle as much pressure as put on in Philadelphia than out in San Francisco, where the fans and it's a little more lenient out there. In Philadelphia.
And not only that, yeah. And I don't think it's just that. I think it's also I think the Giants, I know the Giants are built a lot differently than the Phillies. I think that's his type of team. Because that is a team where, he sees stuff. He got questioned for things like sitting your best player because of a pitching matchup. Where in San Francisco, the players they have, that works. They have a lot of average players, which makes them a good team. If there's a Scott Kingery who's 2 for 5 against someone, and a Bryce Harper who's 7 for 60 something, the rational decision would be to start Scott Kingery. But the rational decision isn't always the right decision given who Bryce Harper is. And I think in San Francisco, the strategy that Gabe Kapler used, would be in the situation that I just made up, to sit Harper and start Kingery, that works in San Francisco because they don't have that skewed balance of players. Everyone's kind of in this area where the Phillies have this, right? The bottom of their lineup, it's not great. I mean, we have to start Johan Camargo. No disrespect to Camargo. I think he has been much better than Phillies fans anticipated. But again, he's not near the level of Bryce Harper, right? And I don't think they don't have Bryce Harper on that team. I mean, they're led by guys you don't often hear about. Mike Yastrzemski, right? He's a great example of that. Some of the older guys, Longoria. That's the things that the Giants that differ from the Phillies, and I think that's why Kapler is a better fit for San Francisco. Now, the question that everyone's dying, and I want Ben's answer is: Rob Thompson a good fit for Phillies manager? And if so, why?
I mean, he's not obviously the best fit. There's obviously better guys out there. But as an intern manager, he's completely fine. He's obviously done well. I've liked how he structured his lineups by putting the younger guys in the lineup, which is what he refused to do. And also with that, the younger guys have came in clutch these last couple games since they've been put in the lineup. So I like Rob Thompson doing that. And if he's the best fit in Philadelphia, it's not the best fit, but I don't care if you're a fit or not. If you're a good manager, you work.
Yeah, and that's accurate. I think that actually before I go there, Ben, what do you think the Phillies record would be right now in these last 5 games if Joe Girardi is their manager? Sorry, 4 games if Joe Girardi's their manager.
Joe Girardi's the manager. I still think they win the series over the Angels. So
I don't think they win that game last night.
No, they don't.
I don't think.
I think so.
In that situation,
so in last 5, I would have them at 3-2.
Okay, I agree. I don't think that. I think sometimes people like Joe Girardi look more at the name and less at the who's been performing better. If you were to go up and ask a Kansas City Royals fan, a pretty one that really knows baseball, if you say who's Connor Brogdon, they're gonna look at you kind of confused. Like, yeah, I've heard of him. I can't really tell you what I don't know what team he's on. But if you said Jeurys Familia, they are. Yeah, I know he's on the Mets. Got signed with the Phillies for a contract probably more than he deserves. Who's having a better season though? Without a doubt, Brogdon. His ERA is in the low 2s, mid 2s. Girardi in that situation, I'm telling you, puts Familia in. Down a run in the 8th, he puts Familia in. Rob Thompson.
He looks at the names, I feel, more than numbers. Although he is Mr. Binder Joe, and he abuses his analytics. I've found in Philadelphia, he looks at the name a lot more than the numbers, which is what you said.
Or it's almost, and I know he's a numbers guy, so maybe to put this into better perspective, it's almost like he's looking at the career numbers and who, like the player's history, and not who they are now.
That's part of analytics, looking at history against a particular player.
No, I'm saying career numbers. Like Jeurys Familia has been a better pitcher in the past than Brogdon is now. The thing is, this is the past. I mean, if you were to throw Ryan Howard in the Phillies lineup, he's not going to smash 50 home runs. He's going to strike out almost every time. And not because he's a bad player. It's because he's old, right? And I'm not saying Familia's a bad player or he's old, but he has not been the 2016, 2017, even 2018 Familia.
If you're not going to say it, I'll say it. Jeurys Familia sucks.
I mean, he has not been effective.
No,
any
not
situation we put him in, any important situation we put him in, he doesn't deliver.
No.
And I think that's where we find the change from
Joe Girardi to Rob Thompson.
Yeah, and I think that Thompson, what I'm hoping is he can balance riding the hot hand and getting the young guys to play. Because the bottom line is if Moniak keeps playing the way he's playing, he can't start. I mean, the Phillies are in win now mode. They've got 1 year left to Segura when he comes back in September. Hoskins is quickly fading, and I feel like he's not even that old. Harper's well in his prime. He has 1 more year, maybe 2, of the caliber he's playing right now. JT Realmuto is declining fast. I'm sorry, but you have to give Mickey Moniak a chance. It's a fair thing to do. He gets another 2-3 weeks. But do you think you can keep having Moniak hit 150 in the bottom of the lineup? I mean, because here's the thing. He can develop in AAA. Is that right?
He has developed in AAA. That's the thing.
playing another year in AAA, will that hurt him?
It may, not facing major league pitching.
Then what do the Phillies do in that situation? Let's say Herrera goes on a hot streak. He's hitting 270 with an 800 OPS by the end of the month. Moniak is hitting 184.
Yeah, I get you.
14.
At that point, you keep Moniak off the bench as if you need him as a defensive replacement, because I think Moniak is a much better defender than Odubel Herrera, who is, I call him Mr. Misjudge, because he's always misjudging the baseball. Where Moniak's been good out in center field, I think. We already have 10 minutes left already. But I've been fine with Moniak out in center field. Hitting obviously hasn't been as good as he was in spring training, but I think after his injury, that'll just come naturally.
Yeah. So, with that said, you think that Rob Thompson's going to have a large impact on the Phillies moving forward?
He has so far.
Right. I mean, really, it could have gone better for him.
Exactly. And I feel like the game Joe Girardi got fired, or the day before where Bryce Harper did not play, I find it absolute BS that his shoulder was not sore. And it was all because he was boycotting Joe Girardi. And he was forcing David Dombrowski and John Middleton to fire Joe Girardi.
Okay,
I think that was his form of protest, because the very next day, Girardi's out, Harper comes back in, and I believe he hit a home run.
We scored 9.
He hit 2 home runs.
You're right. I agree, and I don't believe in coincidences. I don't. But this isn't about my belief. It's about it's right there, right? I mean, they dominated these last 5 games. They're not always pretty. There's going to be defensive miscues. And I hate to say there's going to be mental errors. It happens. I get that. And it's not excusable, but they're going to happen. What I just can't wrap my head around is, well, I don't want to say I can't wrap my head around, but it's true. I mean, when you look at the Phillies, you go through all their front office staff. It says President of Baseball Operations, Dave Dombrowski, General Manager, Sam Fuld. That name is a placeholder for Bryce Harper. I'm sorry. Let's just get it straight here. This team is run by Bryce Harper.
Mm-hmm.
If Bryce Harper isn't on the Phillies, Nick Castellanos is on a different team. I mean, Bryce Harper, he builds the team. I mean, you heard so for those of you who don't know, listening, Castellanos, Harper have the same agent. Harper trading is calling agent. Remember, same as Castellanos' agent, to get updates on the progress between the Phillies organization and Castellanos and how close they're getting. That shows you that Bryce Harper runs the team. I mean, I really think that all he has to do is put his foot down for something and a change happens. I don't know yet if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Right now, it's a good thing. They got Castellanos, they got Schwarber, which seemed nearly impossible 4 months ago. Are they performing? No, they're not. But they will eventually, because Castellanos has never had as poor of a season as he is right now. So I'm 100% confident he will be our best player after the All-Star break. Mark my words.
I feel like he's going to pull Bryce Harper from last year.
He is going to end the season with a batting average around 280, and his OPS will be well above 800, if not above 900. I will say that flat out right now. That will happen. He will be unstoppable.
Yeah, it better be.
If the Phillies, I'll say this right now. You can take it as a quote. The Phillies make it into the postseason. The number one reason will be Nick Castellanos. There you go. The Phillies make the wild card. If the Phillies miraculously come back and win the East, you can thank Castellanos for that. He will, if he turns it around, that will dictate the Phillies season.
So you're saying that if Castellanos turns it around, the Phillies will make the playoffs.
That's correct.
I
But
partly agree. I feel like it has to be more than Castellanos. I feel like Schwarber has to turn it around, and I feel like this bullpen has to get it together. But Castellanos is definitely a main factor. You say,
all right, so with that, we're going to transition into our game today. I'm excited for this. This is one of like my midnight thoughts. Just kind of came to me, and it's actually like I don't know. I am a very my creativity is not there. It's gotten better, but it's still not there. I'm kind of surprised I came up with this. So we're doing a mock press conference. So we're not really going to act it out. We're just going to say it sort of like from third person point of view. But we each get 5 minutes. I'm going to say if I was me. So we're not Rob Thompson. This is me. If I got hired as the Phillies manager and I had a press conference like what's his face, Thompson and Dombrowski had on Friday. This is ours. This is mine. 5 minutes. Then Ben gets 5 minutes. And after each of our 5 minutes is up, we're going to ask each other one question. Like we're each other's the press. So who wants to start? Do you want me to start? Want to start?
You can start.
All right. So I put 5 minutes of timer for myself. And I'm going to say what I would say if I was
How many questions? How many questions do I get?
To ask me?
Yes.
One. It's one question.
One.
Best question.
One question.
That's the challenge. Challenge on both sides here. All right. Let me get my timer going here. 5 minutes, 0 seconds, and here we go. All right. So I would start off by saying the goal is the Phillies manager. Right now, the goal that the Phillies need to have is they need to win. If we're going to develop players, they need to get playing time. But right now isn't the best time to develop. If they want to develop, you can go down to the minor leagues. That is fine. If you're going to start at the major league level, you can start. But if there is no spot for you, if someone else beats you out, you need to go down to the minor leagues and develop. I have no problem with that, but they need to play every day. We also need to ride the hot hand. I will look at matchups and I will trust my gut. I've been in baseball for, let's make up a number here. I've been in baseball for 55 years.
Wow.
And I think I have a pretty good sense of where I'm going here.
What's your age?
I'm up there, man. We don't talk about that. But I want to be transparent with my players. I want to be transparent with the press. And I want to be transparent with the fans. If I made a decision, I want to explain myself. But I need you to give me that opportunity for me to explain where I'm going. If I make a decision and you're questioning, I will give my reasoning for that. I'm more than happy to if it is something I'm permitted to do. Of course, there are some things that need to stay confidential. And I understand that. I don't love it, but I understand it. I'm going to take feedback from my players. I am here for the players. I am not here for myself. The players are here to win. I'm here to get them to win. If they want something, if they need something, if they have an idea, I'm very willing to hear it. I actually want to hear it. I want to know what I can do to help them win. I'm not the one stepping in the field every day. I'm the one who's getting them on the field every day. But when they have that idea, I need them to give that to me. I want to be transparent with you guys, the press. I want to tell you what I made that decision. Like I said, same thing with the fans. And winning is why I'm here. I want to win. I want to be successful. The playoffs are not even close to being out of the question. Then I would go on by saying I highly respect Joe Girardi. And I do not think that Joe is the reason this team played poorly. But I think I can bring a different type of energy to turn this team around. I mean, I have that experience playing 14U baseball. So I'm sure that I can figure this managing job out. But I'm excited to get started, and I'm very excited to talk to some players, hear I just want to hear them. I want to hear how they feel, hear what changes we can make, see what players are comfortable doing, uncomfortable doing, and how I can make those uncomfortable things comfortable for them. I want to make this a players' environment. This is a democracy and not a dictatorship. And I will leave you my favorite reporters in the world on that note. And I will see you all at 7:05 tonight. Okay. I think should have a little bit of time left. Yeah, I was pretty short there.
For mine, you can do 3 minutes.
Okay. Do you have a question for me?
I do. This is Colin Bailey.
All right. Yeah. Mr. Goldstein back there from the Washington Post.
Philly Sports Reports here. From, Benjamin Goldstein here from Philly Sports. What's your number one intention? How are you going to make this team turn around after they've sucked this whole season so far?
That's a great question, and thank you so much for that, Ben. I'm so thrilled to have you here today. So, I'm focused on bringing in new energy and turning these players around mentally. We have the personnel, we have talent, and my goal is to have the players use that talent a different way. I want to bring guys into different situations, but I'm also I'm going to be focused on making sure they have a set role. I think players perform better when they're in a role. We will have a set closer. We'll have a set eighth inning man. We'll have a set seventh inning man. We'll have one leadoff hitter. And if you have 3 or 4 bad games, I'm not going to remove you from leadoff hitter. If you have 3 or 4 bad weeks, 2 bad months, then that's a problem. We have to do some adjusting there. But I'm not going to bounce around the lineup a lot. We're going to keep things consistent. But on the other hand, we're going to ride the hot hand. And here's how I run my team. If you are struggling, you are on the bench. And then you're not going to get benched permanently, but you're not going to get benched one day. You will not play. I will tell you that when you have a plan and when you have done something to improve, when you have noticed what's wrong, you come up to me with that and you tell me when you're ready to play. If I feel like what you said is correct, or if I feel like that what you said it's reasonable, the adjustment that you've made, you'll get put back in the lineup. But there's no point in having someone watch, assuming that by sitting on the dugout eating sunflower seeds will make you a better player and get you back in the lineup. Once you prove to me that you're ready to go back in the lineup, you'll get reinserted into the lineup. But the players will need to come to me with some substance of what they've done. And that goes for everyone. Doesn't matter whether you're the 8-hole hitter, a 3-hole hitter, or the guy that just got called up from AAA, or a bench guy. That needs to happen, and that will happen. And that's how I'm going to turn this team around.
Thank you, Mr. Daly.
Of course. Thank you for being here.
I feel like I'm in 2020 press conferences right now.
Zoom. Oh, they were brutal. Couldn't hear anybody. They were brutal.
No, they were fun. They were very fun. Especially
excuse me, Mr. Salisbury, your mic's muted. All the time. I mean, we love Jim Salisbury.
Jim was fun. Jim Salisbury was fun doing those. All right,
Mr. Manager, what do we got?
I got my old microphone that I never worked that I got for $15 here. All right, I'm going to talk in first person because that's easier for me. I'm also going to hold on. I'm going to get fancy here. Set mine for you can set mine for 3 minutes here.
Bring the seat down. All right, hold on. Give you 3:15 because mine was exactly.
All right, this is uncomfortable. I like the Philly Sports in the back.
All right, I'm ready when you are. 3 minutes and 15 seconds is on the clock.
All right. Obviously, I have all respect for Joe Girardi. Great manager. So many honors that go to him. World Series in 2009 with the Yankees and everything he did in New York. And obviously, he was a great manager here in Philadelphia, so I have to respect him. But now that I'm here, I'm gonna put a little spin in here in Philadelphia and change some things up that are a little different than Girardi's managing. The kids are gonna play. The kids need to play. Bryson Stott is a very, very impressive player. Mickey Moniak has just been called up. He is impressive. He's really, really good. And what's his face? Nick Maton, who is now hurt, can fill in perfectly for Segura, the injured player. But when Maton comes back, he'll definitely get a spot at second base. Bullpen construction was a little miscombobulated here with Girardi, and I would like to fix that now we will have a different closer because we need to mix it up a little bit because our closer stinks. We're going to go along with the play the kids in the bullpen as what we're doing with the lineup. We will have. We will not be looking at the. We will be looking at the numbers now, not the names. Like for example, Jarius Familia sucks. So we. This is not something a manager would say. We're going to put in. We're gonna put in some different guys and shift some things around. From what Joe Girardi had. We will have a set leadoff hitter instead of having 16 different every single day. If you are struggling at the leadoff, you will stay at leadoff, unless it's like a month and you still stink. We will mix it up from there. But there's going to be some differences in managing here in Philadelphia with the new era of Benjamin Goldstein.
Mr. Goldstein, this is Colin Dale here from Philly Sports Reports. Quick question for you regarding your bullpen reconstruction. How exactly, other than the closer's role, do you plan on adjusting the bullpen more in the late innings of the game when you have the lead, a tied game, or only down by 1 or 2? Any thoughts on that?
Hold on 1 second. My mother's calling me. Sorry, I can't. Thank you. I would like to have a set 8th inning guy. I think we could put some different guys in that role that usually don't get as much playing time. I want to keep Knebel at closer for a little, see how he does. Then I think Dominguez is a great setup guy that could be pitched every day because he's young, he has a firing arm, and he's really good. And I think he could be our 8th inning guy, if not closer at some point. And our set, we will have different guys set up in the bullpen of their place, and it's gonna all put itself together soon.
All right, follow-up question. If Seranthony Dominguez is moved to a 9th inning closer's role, would Corey Knebel fill the role Seranthony Dominguez is currently in that 8th inning?
We would most likely move someone up to that spot. We will deal with Knebel. What I want to do with is it Knebel or Knebel?
I think Knebel.
I've
heard both from announcers, though.
All right. Sorry about that. I would like to put Knebel. I would like to see what he can do in the 8th inning spot, but if not, he will be put in the middle league.
Okay. Thank you for your time, Mr. Goldstein, and I wish you the best of luck.
The Braves have lost arbitration case to Dansby Swanson, but beat Adam Duvall. MLB teams have 6-day advantage over players this year.
Wow. Interesting.
All
right. So before
I will be a great manager by saying my players stink.
Oh yeah, they'll love you. They'll love you. We gotta hire this guy at Phillies. Get that down. All right, quick segment. Even though we've already touched on it, this should not be more than 2 or 3 minutes before we get into our Q&A. Stay tuned. That is coming up. Picked out the best questions, and we will answer them for you. All right. The closer role. Ben's going to start.
Closer, something we haven't had a long time.
I'll give Ben a break with his voice. He just talked for about 5 straight minutes. I'll give my thoughts on the closer roles. I'm going to get hated for this.
Oh, boy.
Actually, I don't know. I don't think I will. Corey Knebel's got to go.
Yeah.
If you look at his numbers, now this is as of a week ago, but I don't think it's changed.
He's better than Josh Hader.
That's true. As of yesterday, he has not allowed
That's
a
another
run.
reason you play the kids, by the way.
There you go, Vierling and Bomer.
Vierling,
Look at that. So here's my reasoning there. I don't know. So it's sort of surprised me, sort of not when I saw this. In any inning, even when he ends up going into a save situation, Corey Knebel has not allowed a run outside of the 9th inning. He's pitched 3 or 4 innings in the 8th. He's pitched extra inning games, has not allowed a run or earned a run in that time. So that, to me, shows you a perfect 8th inning guy. Now, I know that he's had ridiculous problems with his curveball. I mean, last night he is pounding fastballs and praying they don't get hit out of the ballpark. It's not going to work. If he can find that curveball, put him in lower pressure situations to find that curveball, then I'd move him back up to the eighth inning then. I'd have Seranthony close without a doubt. He has every quality of a closer. And here's the thing. When I see Brad Hand come in with inherited runners on base, I want to rip my brains out. He has been horrendous with runners on base, but he is the best pitcher in baseball when no one comes, and it sounds ridiculous, but when no runners are on base, he is so good. He hasn't allowed a run like a month and a half. I saw that a few days ago on some social media or news report, something. He is so good when he's in situations starting an inning. And if he can keep starting innings, that's a perfect eighth inning man. Seventh inning man, Bilotti, Brogdon, Knebel. Perfect situation for them. A little bit lower pressure. And the way that these Phillies have been coming back from games, they've been behind or tied late in the innings. Doesn't really matter. I mean, it matters. You put the sixth and seventh inning spots, but you know that if something bad happens, there's always still a chance with this team. All right.
Yep.
Do you have your thoughts on?
I mean, you kind of
here.
you stole everything I was gonna say. Knebel has not been good at all so far. I love Knebel. The Knebel curve, which I call it, has obviously not been working, as I think everybody could tell. And he's Rob Thompson getting here, especially after, we'll say Tuesday night, since this probably won't get posted for a little bit. So Tuesday night
it should be up soon. I got nothing tonight.
Oh, there you go. I'll put it like a running arm. Tuesday night was the night where the Phillies came back with Josh Hader and Knebel basically walked the bases loaded in the bottom of the ninth inning while up by one. He was able to escape, which I commend him for, but he was pounding fastballs, praying. As a closer, you cannot do that. Especially with the bases loaded, that is unacceptable.
You keep talking. I'm going to look something up.
I umpire 11-year-olds, and they throw better. They throw more pitches in that inning than Corey Knebel does. I mean, I did see this one kid. He was throwing like splits, and it was really weird. But
the problem is he can't locate the fastball. He walked three guys last night.
He can't throw a fastball. He can't throw a pitch. And I feel like, as you said, he has to be moved way out of the closer role and into the eighth inning role. I think that's a good spot for him. And if that doesn't work because it's higher pressure, he's got to be moved down a little bit of reliever. As I said in my press conference, which you just heard a couple minutes ago, Seranthony Dominguez has to be the closer of the Philadelphia Phillies. He's young. He is the perfect – he's proven himself in high-pressure moments. He is the perfect closer for the Philadelphia Phillies. And I think starting hopefully soon, Dominguez has to be the closer of the Philadelphia Phillies.
Ben, are you sitting down?
I am sitting down.
Okay, well, brace yourself. There are runners on first and second with 2 outs. Phillies up by 1, the top of the ninth. Right now, last night, probably 2 nights ago when you're seeing this, if you see when it's posted. Corey Knebel threw 13, 1-3 straight fastballs. That is ridiculous.
I'm tweeting that.
Crazy. What happened?
Hold on, can you repeat that?
13 straight fastballs, and that was to end the game last night. So he goes. Wait a minute, I might have. Hold on. Wait, that's wrong. Hold on, that's wrong. That's wrong. He threw 4. Wait a minute, 9, 12, 16 straight fastballs. 16 straight fastballs. He goes curveball, and then his last 16 pitches of the game were all fastballs.
Corey Knebel threw 16 straight fastballs to end the game last night. He had 1 out with runners
on
first and second.
Just first. He walked the next 2 batters to load the bases, and struck out Fremel Reyes. Which Reyes? The Brewers now. Nope. Pablo Reyes, right? He struck out Pablo Reyes on 3 fastballs. He can't even locate these fastballs. I mean, how? Dude, the pitchers. I mean, I'm a catcher. The pitchers that I catch, every single one of them can locate the fastball. I mean, if almost every single pitcher in the team that I play for, if I had them throw straight fastballs, they'd walk 1 or 2 guys in 7 innings. He just walked 3 in 1 inning, throwing predominantly fastballs the entire time.
That's wild. I didn't realize it was.
I've never seen that before.
And as people know, we have all watched a lot of baseball as too. I don't think I've ever seen someone throw 16 straight fastballs, if not 10 straight fastballs.
The last time that I saw someone, as ridiculous as that is, throw 16 straight fastballs was 2 weeks ago. I'm watching the Cardinals game, and they bring Yadier Molina in to pitch. It's the last time I saw it, and that might be the only time I saw it. And Yadier Molina was not throwing a fastball. He was throwing a moonball. And there you go. That is my answer. And this discussion is done. Corey Knebel should be, if it's the 9th inning tonight and the Phillies are winning by 4 runs or more, or less than 4 runs or less, Corey Knebel better have his butt in the bullpen chairs out in Wisconsin. And if not, we will have a problem. This cannot continue on. And if Rob Thompson cannot see that, that is a problem.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
All right. Our Q&A time as we wrap up today's episode.
Q&A time.
These 5 questions.
5 questions. You guys stumped it up. Be better next time. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know. We had a little disappointing. That's all right. We've got 3 people we got 2 of the guys from the PSR staff to help us out with some good questions. We got 3 questions from some of our supporters on Twitter and Instagram. Ben, you can start with the first question from Anthony S. Benson on Twitter, one of our
ESBN.
most loyal followers. Yes, ESBN.
I've grown a pretty good friendship with this guy over the Discord.
And by the way, this is my favorite question, and I have a great answer for it.
This is a pretty good question. His first question was, "Can he be on the podcast?" And that is, I will get that in the works soon for you, Anthony.
So
his question is, how many Phillies games a week do you watch on mute? And if I remember, he said it's been a tick since Crucker has been off the air for a little bit, and Ben Davis and Raul and Ruben Amaro.
Crucker's back now. He's back.
Thank God. My answer is, I hate silence, so 0. But it's pretty bad. I love T-Mac though, so he fills the he cancels them out. So
all right, so I feel bad now I'm saying this. So my answer is semi-often. Ben Davis, it bothers me because it's so embarrassing. His grammar is horrible. I heard him. So he goes, and I know he's not like some English major or writer like McCarthy was, but he goes, what do you say? He goes, I feel bad for Ranger. He pitched so good. Ranger pitched he pitched so good. And I'm screaming at the TV, well, he pitched well. You don't pitch good, you pitch well. And I don't know why I do that. It's like my natural thing to do. Like I have my one friend who says brug instead of broad. And drives him nuts, but I correct him every time. And that makes me really angry with Ben Davis because you don't do good, you do well. So you have that down. And Ruben Amaro Jr., I actually dislike more than him. He says T-Mac. So when he first came on back like 2 years ago, he said T-Mac easily 15 times, probably more per game. I could not stand it. But he'd say it so he goes, what do you think, T-Mac? He like enunciated the word T-Mac. And that I would actually turn the game off. And I have and if I'm away or somewhere where I don't have blackout, I'd watch the other team's broadcast because I cannot stand when he says T-Mac. It drives me.
Sometimes
it drive the wall.
I remember one time it was really bad with Ben Davis.
T-Mac
and
T-Mac.
I muted the TV and I turned on WIP. and I
I was
watched
about
and
to go
listened.
there. I do that too.
Because Scott
That's my
Ferensky,
most favorite thing
I
to
know
do.
Larry Anderson has minus his numbers of games down a little bit, but Scott Ferensky and Larry Anderson are the perfect duo. And Scott Ferensky is good with other guys too. I love Kevin Ferentsen with Ferensky. I haven't listened to these like 3 or 4 other new guys they got because I don't really care. But Ferensky's really good.
Yeah, big Ferensky fan. So I do that. I do that as well. I will put the game on mute and turn on WIP. I don't like national broadcasts.
I hate that.
Those I always mute. I don't even give them a chance. I'm sorry, but as soon as I see the games on ESPN, especially Fox, I can't stand Fox.
The new Fox group is
horrible. Yeah, I'm not a big Fox fan for their baseball. ESPN, it depends if they're. I'll turn on the interviews. Like Pete Alonso was amazing. I was glued to the TV when Pete Alonso did that interview. If he's not in the booth when he retires, I will start a petition because he was incredible. He was really good. So that is my answer for that question.
You know who else is pretty bad in the booth? And like I feel like it's a sin to say this because he's the best Philly of all time. But Mike Schmidt isn't the best.
He's all right. He's pretty dry.
I don't have a problem. How are we running out of time already?
They must have decreased the time.
I don't know. I don't have a problem with him. But sometimes he can get pretty dull.
Yeah. All right, next question.
We gotta do these next questions.
Who is your favorite old Philly and favorite current Philly? All right, we'll do no explanations for this. I'll start. Favorite old Philly is Tug McGraw. Favorite current Philly? I have no idea. Come back to me.
All right, this is from Legs510 on Instagram.
Yes.
Appreciate the question. My favorite old Philly, I guess he's not a Philly anymore, so I'll say Ryan Howard. Dude kind of got me in. Is he an old Philly? He's not playing anymore.
He's an old Philly.
Okay, thank you. I like to say my favorite players is the ones that I've watched. Like, I'll never say my favorite player of all time is like Wilt Chamberlain because I never watched Wilt Chamberlain play. Obviously, I've watched highlights, but like I haven't like personally watched it on TV. Like I have to like experience it live. So Ryan Howard is my favorite Philly of all time. So he's my favorite old Philly, I guess. And I guess my favorite current Philly, I don't know. You know what? Average answer, Bryce Harper.
I have a tie. And it's funny, these are the two most frustrating players. They both make me want to drive up the wall. But one, Reese Hoskins has such a good personality, I think. When he was mic'd up a few nights ago, he was hilarious. And I think he loves baseball and wants to be there, and I can appreciate that. And Kyle Schwarber, he's a new Philly. Hasn't been great.
Actually, I'm changing my answer.
There. What is it? Schwarber?
No.
Hoskins.
I forget what I was gonna say. Oh my god! All right, you can go back. I gotta think.
Yeah,
about
Schwarber. Schwarber is just. I love that guy.
It's back to me. He's hurt right now with Jean Segura.
No.
Jean Segura is one of the most underrated players in baseball. The dude
that is true.
A hitting machine, and he can play defense. He might be one of the best defensive second basemen in the National League.
Yeah, I'm still mad at him though from 2019 with Kutch and not hustling that ball out. And I will say,
I've gotten over that.
Now he runs everything out. I mean, even a ground ball to second base the guy has, he's sprinting to first base. And I appreciate that because he clearly made a mistake and learned from it. But I guess that's fair. I guess I've gotten over. I love watching Segura play. He is so fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll accept that. All right. This is from Sports Reports on Twitter. What effect did Joe Girardi have? And how do you think the Phillies liked him as a coach based on his firing? I like this question, and I don't think Joe Girardi had that big of an effect because I think he just sat back and watched for some of it. And I think that's because of the way he managed the Yankees. I think he realized when he was with the Yankees, he didn't have to do a ton, right? The decisions were easy. The lineup was the same every day. It's not the same thing with the Phillies. And I don't think he was suited for this environment.
He was spoiled in New York, especially with his closer.
Yeah. And
Mariano
I think it's pretty obvious that the Phillies didn't love him.
No.
Especially some of the guys like Harper, some of the leaders of the team. You got anything you want to add?
What effect did he have? I mean, you can't always blame the manager. Obviously, he's first to go to, but you gotta blame the players on the field. The Phillies didn't produce well on the field, and does that have, as the pitching partly, was the bullpen have partly something to do with Joe Girardi? Absolutely, but the offense was brutal with Girardi here, and
Lineup construction.
You have it part of the line of construction as well. But in Major League Baseball, you have to adjust sometimes.
Yep. All right, next question. This is from one of our in-house writers. So good question here.
I bet Kenny. I bet Kenny could answer what his current favorite Philly is. That's an argument you guys had going.
Jeez. Oh my goodness. What? Yeah, it's pretty obvious now, but I think just in spite of that, he changed his profile picture and banner picture to Bryson Stott, which I know he'll change it back to a picture of his, a little guy or a picture of himself, but he did that. I know he did that stuff. All right, what's the question here?
What effects do the veterans on the Phillies have? I thought we were going at the same time.
That would have been cool.
What effects do the veterans on the Phillies have on the young guys? Like any sport, mentorship. I can tell you right now that Bryce Harper is teaching Bryson Stott Bryson Stott's mentoring Bryce Harper is what I'm trying to say. That Vegas connection, like T-Mac said, I said T-Mac. I mean, first of all, that was a great call. But the Vegas connection it's good. And that's part of it. And that's why Stott's been good the last couple of days because Harper's good.
And I think Harper's more motivated too with what's his face going. All right. Yeah, I agree. I think the veterans have a huge effect on them. I think that they play. I almost think that they play for them. I mean, if I was Bryson Stott or Mickey Moniak, I'd be like, man, these guys, they work their butts off every day. They've been playing really well. Hoskins has not been that bad in Philadelphia. His numbers are better than they seem. I think they know that they need success and that they need, they're a part of that. They need help. Last question from Ben. Most underrated Philly of all time. I have no explanation for this question. It's a completely biased answer. But Peter Bourjos. I don't know why. I was such a big Peter Bourjos fan. I felt like he should have played way more when they had that young guy, Tyler Goodell, who never ended up being anything good. And Bourjos never played, even though he was way better than Goodell. So whenever Bourjos played, I rooted for him. I've got a Peter Bourjos autograph picture right here. Big Peter Bourjos fan, guys. For no specific reason whatsoever. So, Ben, you got an answer most underrated Philly of all time?
So, I was going to go Robin Roberts here, but
because I got a Robin Roberts autograph too.
The dude's barely talked about. But someone even less talked about, as I know he played over 100 years ago, but Grover Cleveland Alexander.
Oh, I got some of his right here too. Man,
Grover Cleveland Alexander. I just pulled up his stats. 160 and 75 in his 5 years with the Phillies. 2.18 ERA in 284 games. 233 of those were starts. He pitched 2,104 innings. 53 of those were shutouts. 15 saves. Allowed 1,700 hits. 681 runs. His ERA, where's his flipping ERA? ERA plus. Here, that's fine. ERA plus of 141. I mean, the dude was incredible.
Yep. And I think
And
another player that goes go ahead.
No, you can go.
Another player that goes along those same lines is John Kruk. I mean, everyone knows that John Kruk was an excellent player.
Yeah.
He has the numbers of Bryce Harper. But things have regressed so much over the years. I mean, players aren't hitting 300 anymore, right? If you hit 300, you're an all-star. 300 was 260 back when John Kruk played. But he had the power, too, which is why I think he's because I hate people who use the term underrated. It needs to be someone that no one knows about. And you were a perfect example, but I think the right word of underrated was. I loved your answer. People know who Grover Cleveland Alexander is, right? You know, believe he's in the Phillies Wall of Fame. You can check behind me. I have a thingamajigger.
We got less than a minute, by the way. So
With that for another time, of course. But no, Kruk is known. People know he was an excellent player, but people don't look at his stats and compare to people today. So that's my answer for that. Now, we're going to get you guys out of here because we need to get out of here. Our time is running up. Make sure to follow
Grover Cleveland
all of our
Alexander
socials.
pitched. Yeah,
Right here.
yeah. So Alexander pitched 20 years in the MLB.
There you go. Seasoned veteran there. That is a wrap for today's episode.